and it was new. It was all yeses. So, I'm going to. I don't know if this is going to become a regular thing, like weekly or anything, but we're about to do a collective general pool. Now, yeah, if it resonates, it resonates, and you'll also get to see how I do my actual readings. So, the deck that I will be using is this amazing deck. Technically, I'm going to be using two Flowers from the Dead Oracle. Unfortunately, they are no longer in print. Um, and then I'm also going to pull a couple of cards from the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle Guide. The creator behind the Flowers from the Dead deck will also be attached to this, just to go follow them. And then this creator also will be, the links and everything, you'll be able to find it in the description. So yeah, let's get into this. So just open yourself up, and if it resonates, it resonates. If not, then it doesn't. Now, for me in general, these can be a little tricky because when I do my readings, I connect to the person's spirit guides and or ancestors. And since we're doing a collective one, this is going to be basically collecting to the entire, well, collectiveness. On top of that, these do not have a reversed meaning. Okay, and on most cards, there are 2 words, but it's not always read that way. So, let's get into it. And hi, hello, I'm Fire Lotus the Witch. If you did not know, I am a medium and a witch that practices different types of magics. I offer oracle readings via email, and I also offer recorded readings as well. Sorry if you hear any background noise. But yeah, let's get into this. If you would like to book a reading with me or some custom spell work, you can email me. That will be attached to this, but it is firelotusthewitch@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you get all the notifications when I go live. And depending on how this does, then, you know, I'll continue doing more and maybe switch it up. I do have multiple decks. All right, let's get into this. Alright, so we have the Moose, Awakening and Transcendence. We have the Hummingbird. Okay, so, Awakening and Transcendence. Some of you will be going through a spiritual awakening. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but spiritual awakenings have different degrees. There's like the massive spiritual awakenings where it feels like your entire life is burning down around you. But there are also lighter ones to where you're just awakening specific aspects of your spirit, if that makes any sense. Transcendence. Some of y'all are in that state now, and that transcendent states can make a lot of people feel slightly uncomfortable because in my experiences, the transition, it's either really quickly where a lot of stuff is just constantly moving and moving and moving and changing, or it can almost go into a pause state where it feels like you're just kind of suspended, where you're not really going forward, you're not really going back, you're just kind of there, okay? So, but that transition and the awakening, they're side by side. So some of y'all will be going through that awakening, and then others will be transitioning out of that awakening into your next stage in the spiritual journey. And then we have the Hummingbird, okay? Unique and distinctive. This is a divine message from the universe and your loved ones of saying, hey, you're extremely fucking unique. But you yourself need to realize that. So if you would like to find some affirmations, like daily and morning affirmations that you repeat in the mirror, that is a really, really great thing to do, especially if you are new to practicing, or you just want to add a little bit of, you know, self-love and self-acceptance and working on yourself. That's a great way of doing it, because how our brains are wired, when we hear things over and over again, whether they're true or not, our brains start to actually believe them. So confirming to yourself that you are extremely unique and extremely distinctive in the morning time. Now, obviously, you can actually look some up to where, you know, you can find affirmations for almost anything, but definitely do that because you're extremely unique. And sometimes when you don't fully believe in yourself, it can actually affect the distinctiveness, as in to listen to your instincts. So I always tell people who comes with me, because I do have a lot of mental shenanigans, If you're new here, I don't use the term mental disorders because it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I say mental shenanigans. But I have a lot of anxiety disorders. So what I've learned is yes, we can have ADHD and anxiety, but a lot of the times when it comes to your gut instinct and your intuition, it almost always overpowers your anxiety. But a kind of a rule of thumb, your gut instinct is going to be, it's a feeling in your stomach. It's a primal feeling. Anxiety normally comes from the chest, and sometimes you can have it in the head, but most of the time it's kind of in the chest, okay? But basically, when you step up and realize or step into your uniqueness, because a lot of people use that uniqueness as like weird or anything like that, they're gifts. You're extremely individual and unique. Shine bright. And in the process of that, start listening to your instincts. Okay. Now, it's going to take time to decipher between anxiety and your actual intuition. But once you do, oh, y'all better look out. And that's also kind of pushed into more because of clairvoyance and understanding, which is the beetle. For one, the beetle, you're extremely strong. There are certain beetles that can literally lift 10 times their own body weight. You're extremely strong. You've been through a lot. You have a very strong outer shell, right? But again, clairvoyance and understanding. Some of y'all have some clairs. There are multiple different types of exercises on how to start honing them in and awaken them. I believe everybody has psychic abilities. It just, some just don't bother to awaken them or to start honing them in while others do. We all learn differently. So what one exercise is going to work for one person, it may not work for the other. I also have a few videos. I think I have 2 videos on some of those psychic exercises that you can do. But understanding. So tapping into your your clairs or your abilities, it's going, and your instinct, it's going to help you bring a lot of understanding to some of the things in life that feels like this very dense fog is over it. So pay attention to that, okay? The universe, there's a lot of synchronicities, okay? And then we have the rat, purge and simplify. So purging, spiritually and physically. What I mean by that is sometimes we become pack rats. We hold on to things, material things, emotional things, thought patterns, belief systems that no longer really resonate with us, but we're still holding them on, like we're holding them in a bag on our backs. The problem with this is if we were to picture this right here as a garden, right? So all of this right here is all the excess stuff that you're holding on to that's just kind of sitting there, right? You need to remove that. The reason is because when you remove it, give it away, donate it, burn it, you know. But when you remove it, it's creating new fertile space that it's completely blank. It's blank space, which means you can attract the bigger, better things that you're trying to manifest that's being taken up by the things that no longer serve you, right? Certain situations will be brought to your attention. When they do, you need to simplify them. A trick that my partner told me or taught me, and I use it every single day. When we come across certain situations, if we're too emotionally tied to it, we're not going to be able to make an actual great decision, right? Right. So what we do is we step out of it, disconnect that emotion, and we look into it like we're a random third party walking down the street, right? Like you're just walking down the street and you look into a window at a restaurant and you see the situation. How would you react? Simplify it, okay? Some of y'all, I hate doing this, but some of y'all got a rat around you, okay? Some of you got some, you need to pay attention to the energies you invite in your circle, okay? This is the circle. You need to pay very great attention to the energies that you invite in there, okay? Because I hate to say this, but not everybody out there is going to have your, like, you know, they're not always there to hype you up and to push you up. A lot of the times they're there to see, you know, there's just some nasty people out there, so be aware of that, okay? All right, let's see. All right, we have argument and power struggles. So the power struggle feels like it's a eternal power struggle. It feels like you're about to come into an area, and that it kind of goes in with the awakening too, where there are going to be multiple paths. So like you're on your path, and then all of a sudden you get to a fork, but there's like 8 other directions that you can go. So it's going to do that power struggle where you can't decide which direction you need to go. If you go this way, what happens if I fail? For one, don't think that. Don't think like that, okay? This is no race, okay? There is no failing when it comes to spirituality, right? But, like we mentioned earlier with the hummingbird, Listen to your instincts. It will guide you on which path you need to take. Arguments, especially with everything going on in the planet right now, it's going to spark some arguments, right? Because that last full moon was a fucking doozy. Anyways, so arguments. I have a saying. You know how people say, oh, it's like talking to a brick wall? Yeah, you come across people like that, but there's also people where it's like talking to the mortar between the brick wall. As in, no matter what you bring to this conversation, no matter how many truths, no matter how many facts you bring to this conversation, it's not going to change their mind. Walk away. When you realize that you are in a situation to where no matter what you bring to that table, that person is not budging, walk away. Save yourself time, save yourself energy. You know what I mean? So. The chicken. Bold and courageous. It's exactly what you need to do. Okay? You need to be bold. Those things that you've been manifesting, those opportunities, they're here. They're going to be knocking on your front door. But guess what? If you just hide over to the side, you know, just like I was when I was in high school, head down, don't say a word, I'm there, I'm existing. No, fuck that. You need to step into the light. Show off your talents, show off your abilities. You've been wanting this. You have been manifesting this. Those opportunities, though, are not always going to be on that table. See what I'm saying? So are you going to turn them away? Or are you going to be bold? Are you going to tap into all that courageous energy you have deep below, you know, right under the surface? You're going to tap into those and then stick your neck out there, show off your talents, and show the universe that you're ready for this. You've been manifesting it. They're about to knock on your door. You need to answer. Be bold. Courageous. Okay? Ooh, alligator, emotion and healing. All right, so some of y'all need to do some emotional releasing. And if you can, I used to do this, if you can have access to like a pool or even your bathtub, depending on how big it is, fill it up. Go to a pool. Now, obviously, if it's a public pool, watch out. You know, you don't want to have the cops called on you. But safely, just scream underwater. Just let it all out. Scream. Like, right now where I'm at, I would scream, but I'm 98% sure the cops would be called. But if you were to surround yourself or take a merge and scream underwater safely, please don't drown yourself, you're releasing that energy, right? See, the alligators, they spend a lot of times in the bottom of the rivers and, like, lakes, right? And in the process of that, they get a bunch of buildup. They get a bunch of algae, there we go, but emotions, right? And it's starting to pile up and pile up and pile up and pile up. Well, how do you heal from that? You release it. Now, obviously, if you're like me and you have PTSD or something like that, do this with the therapy, okay? I'm not talking about shadow work here, okay? But find a way to work through those emotions, okay? If you have a friend, call them up. If you don't have anybody and you're like, well, fuck, what do I do? Art. Get a pen, get a paper, doodle, write it out, draw it out, paint it out, scream at it. You know what I mean? And then burn it. Fill a journal up. Burn the bitch. Write a letter to whoever that's involving and then burn it. It's releasing it, but in a safe way, okay? And that's that healing. When we start to heal things, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck, but you're releasing. And our bodies can only take so much. So release that, okay? And again, if you can, water, but watch out for gators. Oh, also, you're strong. You're fucking strong, just like an alligator. They're like prehistoric. You're strong. Tap into that. Oh, the double-edged spider. All right. So, for one, jealousy and grudges. They are normal emotions to feel and experience, but don't hold on to them. You want me to tell you why? Jealousy, it's not good for anybody, okay? We all feel it, but we cannot harbor it, okay? So when you start to feel that, ask why. Why are you jealous of this person? Especially when it comes to a spiritual path. Because I'm on social media all the time. There have been multiple moments where I started to feel that little green jealousy, and I was like, nope. I'm where I'm meant to be in my path. You are where you're supposed to be in your path, and they are where they at in their path. This is not a race. Everybody's path's different, okay? Grudges, the reason we don't hold those is because it's like dropping tiny little anchors in that moment. And if you've got all these anchors spread out everywhere, how are you supposed to be centered? How are you supposed to be fully in the present if you got ties all in the past? Cut that shit, let it go, okay? Now, with that being said, some of y'all pay attention. Like I said, with I think it was the rat. Y'all need to you need to look around because y'all got some jealousy, envious people surrounding y'all. They do not want you to succeed. They are jealous of you. Cut that shit out and let it go. Now, on top of that, the spider is here to inform you that we and you are the weavers of your own world. I am not saying your thoughts shape your reality because that is extremely triggering to people with anxiety. We need to start as a community in the witchy and spiritual world. We need to start being more aware of how we say things. Okay. With that being said, you're the weaver. What does this mean? You are the weaver to your world. But at the same time, you got to be patient just like a spider. They will craft the perfect web, whether that is sprout out in a tree or burrowed in the ground. And they patiently wait. Until what? Well, they wait for their prey, but you get what I'm saying. You got to wait. Those things that you've been lighting candles for and you've been doing spells for, magic is not always instant. And if you go into thinking, or if you go into putting magic or manifestation on a time frame, you are going to let yourself down and you're also going to feed into self-doubt. We don't need that, okay? The things that you've been manifesting are coming to you. You just gotta wait. And some people tune into the interwebs. Wow, that made me sound old. Tune into the World Wide Web, okay? You can make connections that will also help you get to where you're trying to go, okay? But again, be wary in who you invite into your web. Not everybody out there in the spiritual world is there for you. Boom. What did I say? Rat, coyote, spider. Cunning, resourceful. Some of you have the cunning. In Appalachian folk magic, the cunning would be used to describe certain, what most people would call psychic abilities. To me, it's just very instinctual. You're very intuitive. There we go. Resources, resourceful. There are resources that you are overlooking, okay? You're not tapping into them and you need to. Now, those resources can be people, places, things, organizations, groups, you name it. It can be, you're overlooking it. Use the interwebs to find the resources. Now with that, the coyote, trickster. You got a trickster. There is a wolf in sheep's clothing around you. Okay? You need to figure out who that is, which using your psychic abilities, like we mentioned with the hummingbird, using your instincts, you will figure out who that is and yeet them out of your life. Ooh, the raccoon, curiosity and exploration. So this is an indication that there's something you're extremely curious about, like bringing into your life, right? But it feels like due to fear, due to old thought patterns, you're afraid. But it also feels like you may be afraid that you're actually going to like it, right? So feed into that curiosity. Put your toes in the water. Let's see what bubbles up. But as you're exploring, do not get distracted by shiny things. Okay? You know what I mean? It's just like when Mercury retrograde is in retrograde, right? There are going to be things that are presented to you and they are so glamorized. They are so fluffed up. You're like, oh my God, this is the perfect dream. It's almost too perfect. That's because it is too perfect. Okay? Do not get distracted by shiny things. But feed into that curiosity. Maybe it's a new path. Maybe it's a new lifestyle. Feed into it, okay? As long as you get good vibes. Listen to your instincts. And the last card. Ooh. The squirrel. Responsibility and balance. And here's where people will be slightly called out. Responsibilities, okay? For one, stop taking on other people's responsibilities. Okay? Either A, those responsibilities can be shared, or B, they're not your problem. I understand you like helping people. But what you're doing is throwing yourself out of balance while trying to find balance. It's literally the definition of insanity, okay? Your plate is getting too full. And some of them, like I mentioned with the rat, the trickster, some people are around you and they know that you want to help them, right? So what are they going to do? They're specifically going to be like, here you go. They're just adding and adding and adding. And that's okay, as long as they're repaying you. As in, they're also helping take stuff off your plate. Okay? It's just like the donkey card that's in this deck. You're strong. Okay? You can balance, but too much, you're going to throw yourself out of balance. Okay? Loki's also reaching out to some of y'all. Okay? But find that balance. Don't take other people's responsibilities, because you're going to wind up burning yourself out trying to help other people that don't care if you succeed or if you fall out of balance. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the Practical Magic Oracle. So there are going to be 3 on here because I completely got distracted and I have other things to do very soon, and I got to get set up for that. If you've made it this far in the reading, let me know your favorite animal emoji. Okay? And if you share this in a divination group and you're part of that group, let me know your new favorite song and or the most recent book you've read. Now, with these right here, because I am still learning these, which I need to do a video on them since I've been using them for a while. I'm still learning, so we'll be reading from the book. Oh, sorry. Book of Shadows. Spellwork. And the fire element. Also, a tip for all my card readers out there. You know how sometimes these, specifically these, where they get a little sticky due to humidity, due to the oils on our hands? Here's a trick that I do. I use the herbs that I burn, culinary sage. I use that. Sprinkle a little bit on there, get it on my hands. And yeah, it'll dust them basically. You're lightly dusting them and it'll help those from not sticking. Alright, so the Book of Shadows. Oh, let's show you the little book. Here we go. You have all that you need. It has all been passed down to you from your ancestors. Tap into your lineage. Get in touch with your roots. Know that you have the power. Feel it inside in your bones. You are a descendant of magic. Tap into the deeper connections at your core. There is great knowledge to be gained by honing and connecting with your ancestors. Ooh, so y'all heard that. Ancestors are reaching out to y'all, okay? And y'all know what I believe on ancestors, right? Even if you do not know them, you can still connect to them. All right, and then spellwork. Spellwork. I love the artwork on here. Okay. It is time to create the spell you need. Create a recipe that will help you to gain clarity and insight on this situation. Ingredients for the results that you want. Spellwork asks you to tap into your inner witch and create some magic to help gain better insight and clarity into your situation. The craft is sacred and a personal practice. When it comes to spells and magic, there are many components. Every herb and flower has its connections and magical properties. Take the time to ensure you are utilizing the correct tools, items, and surroundings to better yourself and your future. Insight. Fire element. Aries over here. What? Sorry. Boom. The element of fire invites you to take action. Inspired from the tarot suit of wands, fire encourages you to embrace your passions. Holding a message of excitement, this card can also represent a new spark of creativity or inspiration coming into your life. When fire comes into a reading, don't sit idly by. Reignite the flame that lies within. This is your divine force. Feed your fire, follow your passion, and keep your flame burning as bright as possible. All right. If it resonates, let me know in the comments. Claim this energy, okay? If not, that's okay too. It's a collective reading. Sometimes it'll match, sometimes it won't. And as always, if you would like to book a reading with me, you can email me at firelotusthewitch@gmail.com. Like I said before, most of the time I will do it via email, which means depending on the reading, I will lay out the cards, take a picture of the cards, send you the picture with the entire breakdown. That's how I do most of them, but I also offer now recorded readings. So, and it will be in this format, just like this video. Okay. So with that one, you will receive the link to the video, but you will also receive a few pictures of the cards that were also drawn in the video. So let me know. I also offer custom spell work, so we can have a magical consultation, and I also offer spiritual advisories. That is a 30-minute session with me and you just chatting for 30 minutes. Sometimes it does go over that. But anyways, and that is to share experiences and everything like that. If you haven't already, you should totally go subscribe to my podcast. You can find all of my other socials and everything else that I do online in the link tree listed below. And yeah, thank y'all so much. And I hope you're all having a magical day.